cannot be the only person that has one of these boxes. Inside this box is all of the little trinkets and knick-knack. Gold Coast Marathon bib, minted New York sticker, sick sticker from my boy Willix's Systems of the Trail exhibition. Anyway, you get the point. I added a few items to the box over the weekend, and they all signify a pretty huge event, which was a Sydney Marathon. Sydney Marathon this year, its first year being a major, 35,000 runners. The whole thing was going to be bonkers, and we were showing up in a big way. Thursday in Sydney, jump on the train, go and pick up a rental car. Now, you know how I knew Sydney was a major? There was a woman on the train wearing a Berlin Marathon finisher's jacket. Now, I feel like you don't see that at a lot of other marathons that aren't majors. Maybe a little bit here and there, but not to the capacity that you would see over the weekend. That's how you know people are flying in from overseas to come and run this race. Sydney, its first year being a major, we had to do something pretty iconic to mark the moment. We made this mag with our boy Eliud Kipchoge on the front of it. It's a 24 pager. It's got pieces in here on Safan Hassan, Eliud Kipchoge, Wayne Larden, who is the race director of the Sydney Marathon, and a bunch of other cool stuff. We had 5,000 of these printed for marathon weekend, and it was our job to deliver 2,000 of them in Sydney. Thursday that we arrived, that is what Josh and I did. We went and we dropped off these Tempo mags to some of our retail partners. Then on the Friday, we did a few more drop-offs in the morning, and then we were heading to the Set It Off Alley Cat street race that we put on with Enquiries. Wait,
where the are we? Hey, where are we? If you're going this way, you're gonna win! 4, 5, 6, congratulations!
75 runners took part, and it was a scavenger hunt. They had to hit 6 certain spots on a map, collect a little token, and then come back to the start line. Such a nice way to play a role within the community in Sydney, but it not be your pretty standard shakeout run, which we're having over the weekend. It also served as our publication launch. So we had 500 of these things on the center of the table in space, and people could roll through and take them for free, because this was free. Saturday morning, we went to the unofficial shakeout, which we heard afterwards had approximately 2,500 people go to it, which is absolutely absurd. Then the remainder of Saturday was sat behind the computer. At one stage, I actually took a walk to the Up There Athletics and Tracksmith pop-up and just sat on the couch and talked to the Up There staff for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, because I needed to get some human interaction away from my computer. Saturday night, went out for dinner with the boys before the big day on Sunday. I was lucky enough to have media accreditation for Sydney Marathon, which made life very easy, but it also meant that I had an equally as early start as some of the runners. I was actually shooting some stuff with Dave Stoff, aka Dave the Runner. We were doing a piece with him for Tempo Journal and Adidas. So I ended up staying at his hotel that night, so I didn't have to have an even earlier start. And that meant waking up at 3:30 or 3:45, so he could get his fuel in, and I could obviously shoot some stuff of him in the hotel before we went to the start line. A few shots at the start, and then we were quickly put on a bus, taken down to a ferry across the harbour to the finish line. Then I basically just spent the majority of the day at the finish line, capturing the vibes, the crowd, people coming over the finish. It was genuinely just a good time. And finally, the Monday, to cap things off, we got invited to a running royalty event with Eliud Kipchoge and Safan Hassan at the Opera House. And we were given these like player style cards. So this one's Eliud's, this one is Safan's. There, I've got number 102 on both of 120. the main thing we wanted to do was we actually had to leave early because we needed to get on our flight. But we left about 10 to 15 of these mags with Nike with a Sharpie inside the bag and said, if you can you please try and get them signed for us? And the team there went honestly above and beyond. They managed to get all copies signed. So they're all signed with Kipchoge's signature on the front, and then with Safan's signature on her own page. So you best believe when they finally get back from Nike, they are going on the wall somewhere in my apartment. So that is a bit of a Sydney Marathon recap. Unbelievable weekend. I've been to Boston Marathon, I've been to New York City Marathon. Sydney Marathon, maybe because it was so close to home and I knew so many people in the area. I've never had so much FOMO not running a race before. So 100% on my list to run next year. It looked unbelievable. Everyone that I talked to had an amazing time. Sydney came out, which I was really worried about how the non-runners of Sydney would get around a race like this. Because any other major in the world, Chicago, Boston, New York, Tokyo, London, like the people who aren't runners still come out and support those races like they are. Like the city's shut down. The people of the communities that you run through, they come out and support. And I think Sydney did a really good job in its first year this year. I think next year it's obviously only going to get bigger, and it's definitely something. As someone who can run and is capable of running a marathon, I would love to be a part of. I don't know, we're into like the 6th day of spring? 3 degrees this morning in Melbourne. It's a bit cold. Actually, I did forget to mention that on the Thursday, I was on the Never Run Alone podcast with Rin, Ella, Chris, Cam Merrick, and Roberto Manje. So I'll drop that below. Go listen to that. Oh, you didn't wear it. Fuck you. You didn't wear it, bro.
I was gonna dress like you.
His shoes look sick, bro.
You think I was gonna wear it?
Yeah, I thought we were gonna be matching. Fuck. Oh man. I only wore it because I thought you were gonna wear it. We're still sort of figuring out our route. We're doing roughly 50 minutes. Could be longer, could be shorter. Who knows?
Yeah.
But if there's one thing for certain, we'll be finishing at one of the lovely Fitzroy coffee establishments to get ourselves an overpriced almond, what are you drinking? Almond latte, strong almond latte, maybe an Iron Spanner, maybe a Mont Blanc. Who knows around here? It'd be really nice ground.
Yeah. I'll go show you where the man had the world record for the highest jump into fresh water.
Really?
What are you doing?
That's crazy. Yeah, so what did they do? This is history lessons, of course. Deep rock swimming and lifesaving club. Deep rock swimming and lifesaving club.
In 1918, a crowd of more than 70,000 watched Alec Wickman make a successful world record dive of 62 metres.
Oh my god.
Something like that.
Is that 62 metres there? Yeah. Doesn't look that high. Maybe it probably definitely is. Bro, 70,000, that's like having, like almost, that's what, like,
MCG?
yeah, 3/4 of the capacity of MCG. Now, let's talk about my own running and where that is currently at. One of the first things that I did before moving to Melbourne was sign up for the Melbourne Marathon. I ran the half in 2023, absolutely loved it. And I knew that being in a new city, there was no way that I could miss out on running the marathon within it. Now, it was always going to be an A race. I was always going to try and run it as fast as possible. But if I'm being completely honest, I feel I'm better off building past Melbourne into something early next year, like a Ballarat Marathon. So I've been talking to my coach Andy, and we have decided that Melbourne this year, I'm just gonna be running it for fun. Basically not putting any time goals on it. Just gonna go out there, see how I feel on the day, and try and soak up the atmosphere, have as much fun as possible, get around people who are trying to achieve certain times and help in any capacity that I can, but really thinking this time around about long term, where I wanna be, how do I want to improve as a runner, what are my weaknesses, what can I work on. That is sort of the approach going into this. So in a couple weeks time, I actually will be running the Run Pre here in Melbourne, which is, you can either run the 5K, 10K or half, and it is a race around Albert Park. So that'll be a nice little tune up before Melbourne. And to be honest, I thought Andy was gonna turn that run into a bit of a workout, but he actually has me running about 129, 130. 4:15 per kilometre for the entire half, which I don't necessarily know if that'll be a stretch, but when I saw it, I was a little bit worried. So it'll be interesting to see where I'm at in a couple weeks time and how that will feel. I did a bit of a workout yesterday, 4 by 15 minutes, and didn't really get too close to the 4:15 pace. So I'm not too sure. We'll see how we go. So yeah, really that is the plan of attack moving forward. It's all about building towards bigger goals for next year and not sort of being in this complete sort of rat race chasing mindset where I'm jumping from one thing to the next and all of these issues sort of pop up along the way, and I don't necessarily have time to address them. So we're in a real good building phase, which means dropping the ego for a while, really trying to focus on getting in the gym and getting strong, and be pleased to say that like it's going relatively well so far, which I enjoy. And I think with anything for me in life, I just need like a little bit of momentum, and then once you're like on the wheel and the wheel's spinning, I'm good for it. So I feel like we're in a good place. Really looking forward to training at the moment, really enjoying training at the moment, just knowing that I don't have the pressure of a time goal sitting over me. It's all about trying to become better and stronger and improve in other ways rather than just improve how fast I can run. So anyway, that is all from me for this video. Appreciate your patience while going through a pretty busy period. So excited to get back into training, documenting life. Appreciate your support as always. See you guys in the next one. More to come. Let's go.